I have a quick and easy meal prep for you. Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me. This week I thought we would do another meal prep video, and this one is just nice and quick and easy because quite frankly I didn't feel like doing a whole lot. So I thought, you know, for those times when you don't have a lot of time or you just, you know, want something easy, it would be a good one for you. I also thought we would take a look at progress pictures and measurements, things like that, just to kind of see, you know, how, you know, I guess really if you can actually see a difference. I don't know that you'll be able to. I haven't looked at pictures yet. I literally just took them, so I haven't side-by-sided them yet, but I don't know that you really can. I can't really tell in my clothes, so I don't know that you'll really be able to tell a big difference, but we're actually going into week 26, so it's halfway through the year already. At the rate I'm going, we'll be doing this for about 3 years, so definitely much slower than I anticipated, but you know, hopefully that means I keep it off, right? One thing I may change is I may actually lower my calories a little bit starting this next week. And then, you know, also obviously there's 4th of July weekend coming up, so that's going to be, you know, another kind of splurge time. I have 2 different trips I'm taking in July. One of them's for work, and so I won't have a lot of food options. You know, when you travel for work, oftentimes you are kind of stuck with whatever they bring in with not a whole lot of choices. And then the other one's going to be a vacation that we're taking. So I'll have choices, but at the same time, you know, I want to be able to still have fun and, you know, do all the things that everyone else is doing. So just maybe being a little bit more mindful, but definitely I won't be, you know, under calories that week for sure. That's partly why I'm thinking about going down to 1,200 calories, is just because I know that there's going to be quite a bit of time in the next few weeks where, you know, I'm definitely going to be over, you know, any threshold that I want to be over for calories. So I'll still be mindful, I'll still be careful. I'm not going to make terrible decisions, hopefully. But, you know, I think if I just kind of counteract that a little bit, I think it's important to, you know, for me to lower it a little bit more. So I'm going to probably do 1,200 to 1,400 this week. Really what that means is I really have to watch my dinner portions to make sure that, you know, I'm not getting too high at dinner time, because you know, breakfast and lunch and snacks are always, I keep them pretty even in terms of calories, and I'm pretty consistent with that. But dinner is where I really kind of get some variety in, which is good and bad. So I'm just gonna have to be more cognizant and mindful of that in the coming weeks. So enough chatting, let's get into the meal prep, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about, you know, progress pictures and measurements. Let's get going with the meal prep. I'm actually going to start with lunch first because some things are going to take a little bit of time to cook. So what I'm going to do for lunch prep this week is make steak fajitas. I have some leftover steaks. And so I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to put it into the different containers because this week I have to go into work twice, but I do already have 2 meal preps left from previous weeks. So I'm just going to use those on those weeks and then just eat this when I'm actually, you know, here at home, working from home. So what I'm going to need is some fajita mix. You can use the packets, or I have this giant one from our kitchen supply. So we will need that. I'm going to use these frozen pepper strips. You can of course use fresh peppers and just chop them up. I'm just sort of in the mood for an easy meal prep this week. So, so I have those, and then I have my steaks here. The other thing I'm going to go ahead and get started on, I'm going to do breakfast burrito wraps, but I just sort of put whatever I want in them. So these are not necessarily something that's, you know, a copycat of something you'd find at a restaurant, but it's just, I just do the stuff that I like. So I'm going to get my potatoes cooking. I'm going to make 6 breakfast meal preps. So I'm doing 3. These are actually fairly, you can see compared to my hand, these are actually fairly small potatoes. And I'm just going to do, you know, half in each. So my wraps aren't real big, so they're not going to hold a whole lot anyway. So I'm just going to pop these into the microwave. I'm going to stab holes into each sides of them so they don't explode in the microwave, in case you've never done baked potatoes in the microwave before. It's super, super easy. If I had more gumption, I could shred these and make them like hash browns, fry them up in a pan. I could chop them up into little cubes and do roasted potatoes. There's a million different ways I can make them. I'm just going the easy route. So I'm going to stab those. And just be careful not to stab yourself. Okay, and I'm gonna pop these in the microwave. If you have a potato button, I'm jealous because I don't. But if you have a potato button, use it, because usually your microwave will weigh them and then do the calculation. True to form, I just sort of put them in for, you know, 5 minutes, check them, flip them, put them in a little longer, and just pull them out when they're done. So I'll get these in. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my steaks sliced up. And you could decide which way you like them. Do you want longer strips? Do you want shorter strips? I'm gonna go shorter, just feels like I get more that way. And when I freeze this, you know, for later on, I could either, you know, keep it all in one big batch, put some in my fridge and put the rest in my freezer, or I could actually, you know, portion it out into serving sizes and sort of freeze them that way, like in a Ziploc bag, even just to make it easier. So I'm not, you know, don't necessarily have to use the meal prep containers every single time. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to package this, but we will see. That is ready to go. And I'm not going to, because those were already cooked, and you know, I don't want to cook them more and then reheat them again. I'm actually not going to make those in with the fajita and the peppers, the fajita mix and the peppers. I'm just gonna make these two together and then just stir it all together and it'll be just fine. And I am gonna go ahead and make up this entire package, because you'll see, whoops, lost some to the counter, there we go. You'll see this is actually, you know, kind of a lot of peppers for that much meat. But if, you know, if I find that I still have some of the peppers and sauce left, and, you know, and I've eaten all the meat out of it, I can also add like shrimp or something like that to it later on in the week, because I have, you know, frozen shrimp in there. That cooks up in literally 2 minutes. And I'm gonna eyeball it, but you can follow package directions, or if you have a packet, just use the whole packet. So I'm gonna pop some of this in the pan and then add just a cup of water. Get this stirring up and simmering over on the stove. And then we will move forward with, oop, that one's a brand new one, look at that. We will move forward with the breakfast prep. So I have this La Banderita, the carb counter wraps. These are 45 calories per wrap, and they're actually quite good. You do have to be careful. Of course, they're a little thinner than, you know, a full normal tortilla, but they're actually not too bad. They don't fall apart too easy. They're not too bad. You get 8 in a package. So I'll be using 6 of them for this meal prep, and then that will only leave me 2 for my fajitas. So I actually do have another pack that I'll need to pull out. I actually have it in the freezer. These do freeze fairly well. And then to that, I made up some just scrambled eggs, and all that's in here is 4 egg whites, 8 whole eggs, and I just sprayed the pan with a little bit of olive oil spray. So there's no butter or anything in here. Again, trying to keep it a little bit, you know, lower calorie. So I just scrambled those up. So those are ready to go. I had those in the fridge already. So you can do them hot or cold, doesn't matter. And then I have these Kirkland bacon crumbles that I keep these in the freezer so that they stay good for longer. So I haven't decided. I'll probably maybe do a tablespoon in each. That's 30 calories. That's probably what I'll do. Haven't totally decided yet. And then of course I have the potatoes that are currently cooking in the microwave. I cooked them for 5 minutes and flipped them over and put them back in for another 4 minutes, and they're actually about to be. So we'll check on those and make sure those are good to go. I don't think I've ever tried freezing them. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. So my thought is, if I use parchment paper and then put them in a gallon freezer Ziploc bag, they'll be individually packaged, which I understand this is a lot of plastic, and I'm not always the best friend of the environment. I try, but I'm thinking that will make it, that'll keep it from getting freezer burned, and it'll make it nice and easy to grab in the morning. So, because oftentimes I am back-to-back meetings in the morning and I won't have time to eat if I don't make it easy on myself. So I'm gonna get this one open. I'm full of brand new packaging today. It's great. These are new. So satisfying to rip things off. There's nothing though like buying a brand new phone and taking that clear plastic off. That has to be, you know, top 10, one of the happy things that you get to do in life. So let me check on those potatoes real quick. Okay, those are done. I'm gonna let them sit and cool. Oops, I got a little stuck to my paper towel there. Get off. There we go. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot one of the important ingredients. I'm gonna start by putting a wedge of this Laughing Cow cheese. I like the garlic and herb. There's also that spicy pepper jack I've shown you before. That would be really good. These are 30 calories a wedge. So everything I'm putting in is really low calorie, but you do have to be careful because, I mean, you know, 45 calories, 30 calories, it does all add up. So make sure that as you're, you know, figuring it all out, that you're, you know, you want to total it up and make sure it's going to stay, you know, in the calories that you want to be doing. All right, so I'm just going to spread this all over my tortilla. It's going to give it a really nice cheesy flavor, also give it some moisture. These are really, really good. These also come 8 to a pack, and I had already used 2 of them, so I have exactly 6 left, so that is perfect. And I will have to get some more at the store. I need to add that to the magic list, as my kids call it. We've always called it the magic list because you put stuff on it and mom will magically buy it, and if you don't put it on it and it doesn't get bought, it's weird. So when you run out of something and you don't put it on the list and it doesn't get bought, it's because you didn't put it on the magic list. Makes things magically appear. They used to always try and put things like, you know, $1 million and stuff. That didn't work out. And I have this sort of, you know, small-ish ice cream scoop. That's what I'm going to use for my eggs. I'm just going to eyeball it and see kind of what I think. I think I want like, oops. I think I want like 1.5 maybe of those. Because I do definitely like my eggs. I can always make more eggs too, but I would like it if this does all 6 because then, like I said, calorie-wise, that would be good. This is my tablespoon of bacon. You could also, I think I always say this, but you can also go by weight, which is a little more accurate, I feel like, than using tablespoons. But I just don't feel like getting it out, so I'm not. I'm going to sprinkle it with everything but the bagel seasoning because, well, let's face it, I put this on everything. Definitely don't have to do that stuff. I just like it. It also gives it a little bit of salt because I didn't salt these eggs, so it gives it a little bit of, you know, salt, a little something. I'm going to cut all of these in half. This guy is a little bit bigger, so I'm actually going to add just a little bit of this one to each of these just to kind of try and keep them even. There we go. That's about what I was thinking. Just so you get a little bit of, you know, potato in every bite kind of thing. I haven't decided quite how I'm going to roll these up. I think I'll just kind of go with it and tuck and roll as I go. There we go. Smaller piece of parchment to actually roll it in. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing because this is, I might wind up eating it in my hand this way. So, or if my husband grabs one to go to work, you know, it'll be easier to eat because you can just sort of rip the top part off. So I'm going to do it like this. And actually, I think I can use, here we go. I have quart-sized bags as well, which these are just a tiny bit smaller. And so there, I used less plastic already. All right. Yeah, that's what I had in mind for freezing. So before, when I've done these, I usually just sort of get a Tupperware and just sort of put them in there, or plastic container and just put them in there. But I usually don't make this many at once. And there we go. Also, always label what is in this because you think, oh, I'll know what that is. Yeah, you won't. And one of them will fall to the back and then you'll be like, what in the world did I freeze? Do make sure you label that. And so I'm just going to rinse and repeat. I'm also going to keep stirring my peppers as well, just to you know, make sure that those are getting, you know, basically you're not trying to cook the peppers. You just want the sauce to get really soupy and thick and saucy. So I'm going to keep an eye on those as well. And we'll just keep going. Okay, so I had enough eggs to do, these are my 6 that were all the way that I showed you. And then I took one of those pepper jack ones and made one to eat now. There's not very many potatoes in this one, but that's fine. So the eggs actually went over 7 for the amount that I told you. So these are my peppers now out of the pan, and you can see they get really, really soft and really kind of saucy. So I'm just gonna add my meat to that. Stir that together, and I'm just gonna put this in a Ziploc as it is, or actually rather 2 Ziplocs as it is, one for the freezer, one for the fridge. And then I can just take a little bit out, slap it into a tortilla, and have a nice, quick, easy lunch. I'll also throw some vegetables on the side because I always do that. And it'll be a nice, easy lunch that's ready to go. For snacks, I did go ahead and get more of these guacamole cups. I'm so enjoying this, so I'm just sticking with what I'm enjoying. So I have that as one option. And then for a couple of the days, I do also have this caramel apple pie. This is the Dan and Lighten Fit, and then I also have the strawberry cheesecake. So I'll switch it up a little bit and have one of those, especially, you know, if I'm craving something sweeter or something like that, these are good for that. So I also have those ready to go. And that is everything that we needed to meal prep. I hope you enjoyed that meal prep. So let's quickly take a look at the pictures I took going into week 1 and the pictures that I just took going into week 26. So we can kind of, you know, hopefully see maybe a tiny bit of difference. It's not too surprising. It's not drastic, you know, before and afters yet, of course. Total inches lost. And again, this is going to be from starting out week 1 to now starting week 26. So I am happy to see everything going in the right direction. Again, I wish it was much faster. Honestly, I thought I would be here probably the end of month 1 or 2. And here I am, you know, end of month 6. So it's quite literally taken me about 3 times as long as I thought it would. But, you know, as long as I get there, and hopefully I'm learning how to maintain it just by, you know, it being so slow. Hopefully I'm learning those habits that I'm going to need to be able to maintain. So that is all I have for you this week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell for notifications if you'd like notified each and every Saturday when I upload. Thank you again for joining me. I so appreciate your love and support. And let me know in the comments down below, how are you doing halfway through the year? If there's anything that I can do to better support you too, or any, you know, video content that you'd like to see, definitely leave that in the comments down below as well. Thank you so much. You have a wonderfully successful week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Whatever. Oh, my dog is so loud. I literally stabbed myself. What are they called? Those would be peppers. Thanks for bumping it. Going in. Really? No way. Yeah? She heard something. What is happening out here? It's a wild kingdom out here.